Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, Anita Finley.
So let's get started now. We have this lovely, lovely woman, Becca Kallaus. And I have to tell you, Rebecca, that the minute that I met you, it was obvious that you were very enthusiastic about what you're doing. So laser therapy, tell us what that's all about.
Thank you, Anita. Pleasure to be here. Laser therapy is a wonderful technology that's been around for about 40 years. It's been FDA cleared since 2003. Basically, what it is the laser actually, it's a healing laser. So what it does is it actually expedites the body's natural healing process on a cellular level. So healing occurs instantly. It's sometimes it's obvious after the first treatment. Sometimes it can take up to 20. But it absolutely is extremely effective, and it is a natural healing process.
Well, I've heard so much about lasers now, and I didn't have time. I was going to look up the inventor of lasers because he should know. Of course, a lot of us see these space shows and lasers up in the air. Everything's laser. But I was impressed with you when you first told me about how people have terrible pain, and they don't know what to do about it anymore. They've been to all sorts of doctors, and you have this little gadget that I call the miracle worker. But why did you, the one story you told me and why this company even started, I think is pretty important. Why don't you share that with our audience?
Sure. So our company is Carmen Care Advanced Laser Therapy. Our owner and clinical director is Leslie Carmen, and how this whole company came about is because her daughter Lee was diagnosed with trigeminal neuralgia when she was 17. For those
You're
of you,
gonna have to back up. Say that more slowly because I didn't even get it before. What kind of neuralgia is that?
Trigeminal neuralgia. It's deals with the trigeminal nerve. With her, they think that she had some. It usually happens later in life for those who are unfortunate enough to have this. But with her, they think it was something. She had some dental work done and something was nicked. And it's nicknamed the suicide disease because it's so excruciating that any movement of any facial muscles causes just excruciating pains to shoot throughout your entire head. So even just, I was reading about it, and it said even just a light breeze could cause these pains. And they're exacerbated by transitioning into hot and cold, and she was an ice hockey player. So it was just, a really, really a crazy, unfortunate circumstance, but has a happy ending.
Okay, so the happy ending is?
Well, she was told that her only options were heavy medications, which rendered her incapable of doing anything to the point where she was so loopy she had to drop out of school. And then her only other option was brain surgery. That was what she was told, and her mom just said, that is not how my daughter, those are not the only options for my daughter. I will find something else. They're just the most wonderful family I have ever met. They are just so amazing to work with. But so she found laser therapy, and so Lee's issues were severe. And so she had, I believe it was 28 treatments over the course of a couple weeks. And
let's talk about the treatments.
Sure.
Is this something just to go into a big machine like?
No, not at all. not scary like an MRI machine or anything like that. It's we have there are over 100 different types of lasers. We have a couple at Carmen Care, all of which are all healing lasers are non-invasive, all-natural healing. They're technically classified as cold lasers, though some of them do have a heat component. So some of them have different modalities. We have one that we are able to sell now for home use, which has 4 modalities. It utilizes LED lights, magneticism, and ultrasound, and infrared as well. So all in one little machine.
Did it work?
Absolutely. Yes, she was pretty much pain-free after those 28 treatments.
Does it come back, Becca?
It does. For some people, they need a maintenance treatment, but after enough maintenance treatments, which some people need none, it's gone. The body is designed to heal itself. And so but unfortunately with the environment that we're in today, with the food we eat, the water, the air, everything, stress is a big one as well. All of those things inhibit the body to act in its natural healing way. So the laser cleans out all the negative stuff
Amazing.
and expedites the body's healing process.
And I know what you're doing with this because it's hard to get the word out to everybody. So your organization's done some pretty smart things, and you're going to have an upcoming seminar.
Yes.
Why don't you tell everyone about that? Because, a lot of our listeners are always very interested, but they're a little shy. And if they could come and see something, see you and see the companies, the officials there, it would be very important. So tell us what people can do. This is a lunch. It's a free lunch and a demonstration. So why don't you give all the information out?
Sure. Our clinical director, Leslie Carmen, she holds regular seminars. We are having one Tuesday at Da Vinci's in Boca Raton. It's in the east side of Town Center Mall. And so that's this Tuesday, October the 13th at 11:30 in the morning. They're roughly an hour, and she does a whole presentation on what is laser therapy, how it works, what it is, what to expect, all sorts of things. She does a question and answer at the end, and then I'm usually with her for these events, and so I'll personally go around and schedule appointments. We do free consultations. There's no obligation to sign up, and just come in and have a personal, consultation with her. She does all of our consultations, and she will go over a specific quote for you, how much it'll be, how many treatments she recommends, all sorts of things, any personal questions that you might have.
Sounds like Christmas to me. I mean, this is fantastic. It's, the holidays are coming, and you don't want to be in pain because that will really keep you from doing a lot of things you want to do. So what they say is stop the pain and start the healing. And the nice part is that you'll get a demonstration. You'll be able to have lunch while you're sitting there. And I personally have been to their center where they're doing this. I don't have pain yet. If I had pain, I would have them help me. But I know a lot of people do have pain, and I love what you said about we don't want to use a lot of the drugs for pain because a lot of people have been addicted to pain drugs.
Not only that, but they mask the real issue. Often, what allopathic things do is they cut off the body's nerve centers. When you experience pain, it's the body's way of telling you something's wrong. And when you no longer have that ability to have that alert that there's something wrong, then nothing's going there to fix it. And so then you're just masking the issue and a lot of times making it worse instead of making it better in the long run.
Well, when I think about what you've been telling me, years ago, I had a problem. I woke up one morning and couldn't raise my arm very, very high. And I went I started going to my doctor, and everyone said, "Oh, it's going to go away." And meanwhile, I couldn't raise my arm, and I did wind up going to some chiropractor, and he had something called cold laser had come in, and I guess after 6 or 7 treatments, it did work. And I'm sure that was an old-fashioned thing that he did, but because that was many years ago. But that the whole laser idea, people are getting eyes fixed with certain kind of laser technology, but to be able to have this type of care where someone really understands, especially that she's had this problem with her daughter. So I think this is spectacular. And also I like the idea that you're introducing it. So everyone, remember, this is Pencil Talk Radio, Tuesday, October the 13th, 11:30 in the morning at Da Vinci's of Boca, which is in Town Center. Let me give you a phone number because that way you can call and you can ask them a little bit about it. You may even be in such pain you don't want to wait till Tuesday. You can call tomorrow. But the point is that the way that you're going to do this is you're going to call for RSVP Tuesday, October 13th. And you'll call to RSVP at 561-405-9577. And that's the number to call for that Tuesday. If you can't make that lunch, they do have others coming up. But it'd be good, if you're in pain, you should put everything else aside and do it. The other thing is there's another educational seminar coming up, and it's called
I can explain.
Why don't you
this
talk
one.
about that? That's right. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm glad you're going to do that. So I think that's really important. But I want everyone to make an appointment if they can.
Sure.
For this Tuesday, October the 13th at 11:30. Write that down, and then just tell when you're there, tell Becca you heard it on the radio.
Absolutely, yes. So the one at Da Vinci's is our generic seminar that we give. On Thursday, we are doing something a little bit different than normal. This is just kind of a we may do this again in the future in a couple months, but this is not a regular scheduled event. We are having a special seminar this Thursday in Boca still at the Boca Marriott Hotel, and we are having 2 public seminars at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Those are going to be, it's still going to go over what is cold laser, what are lasers, what to expect. But we are also introducing a technology that it's not necessarily a new technology, but it's new for us to be utilizing it. It's called coma therapy, and that utilizes the 4 modalities I was discussing earlier with the infrared, the LED lights, ultrasound, and magnets as well. So it basically is that one you actually feel nothing with this, but it's extremely effective. Just little things that I've used it for. I happened to burn my finger right before coming into the office one day, and I was thinking, wow, my finger really hurts. I wish I could do something for it. And I was like, wait a second, I work at a laser center. And so I used the laser on it, and within 15 minutes, the pain was gone.
Now, that's quite a story. So if people, I know when you burn, I usually put ice on it, but it doesn't always last. So the laser actually took the pain away.
Absolutely, and left no scar. I'm very prone to burning myself, so I kind of know how those things generally work. And something like that it would have felt better in 24 hours or something like that. But I happened to be in the office in less than an hour after it happened. So it works the fastest immediately after an injury. So whether if it's something chronic that you've been dealing with for decades, it will absolutely still be very effective. It just might take a couple more treatments. But if it's something like you hurt yourself, you fell down in the gym, you bumped something. Another time I burst a blood vessel, and I've had experience with that, and it usually takes about 2 days for it to heal. 2 5-minute treatments, and it was 80% better.
I don't use the word miracle because we don't want to do that, but this is something that I think is very important. And people who are in pain, it destroys their life. They can't. A lot of our older adults, love to be with their grandchildren. Of course, they just want to stay at home, stay in bed on something, heating pads and all that. And this sounds like what people should be doing. So let me just tell you who my guest is Becca Kallaus. Did I do that right? Kallaus? Marketing Manager, Advanced Laser Therapy, Carmen Care. And you can call them. I'll give you their phone number. Actually, they're in Boca Raton, and they're in other places. Right now, I went to their Boca Raton office, but you can go to Plantation and to Aventura. For all our listeners in those areas, when you're in pain, you'll just go anywhere, but we're lucky that they have someone in, a place in Boca Raton. So let me give you the phone number again. It's 561-405-9577. I think that's right. Okay, I want to make sure. I don't want to give anybody the wrong thing. 405-9577. So you can either call for an appointment to go see them there, or you can go to the seminar that's coming up that I told you about, which is Tuesday, October 13th at 11:30, and it's a nice lunch and a good seminar that will explain things. But better than that, on 10/15, which must be Thursday, I see something that's interesting. You actually have it twice, 10 and 2. You're going to be exhausted.
And then we also have, I apologize, I forgot to mention,
right.
For any healing and medical professionals, we are having a more technical seminar as well at 8 p.m. So anyone who's just interested in knowing about it for personal purposes is welcome at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. on Thursday, October the 15th. And then anyone who is any sort of healing or medical professional, you are welcome at 8 p.m. We will be having a more specialized seminar then.
Right. So it's a proven catalyst for the healing of chronic pain and repairing damaged tissue. Can you tell us about maybe someone that comes to mind that you've that's come in and you've what are they coming in? What kind of pain and where is it?
We see everything, and we actually are starting to do video testimonials of a lot of our patients. We are just doing them randomly asking permission and videoing with an iPhone and immediately uploading it on YouTube. So they are very, very raw testimonials, but they're just we want them to be as genuine as possible. And so we have a YouTube channel, Carmen Care Advanced Laser Therapy. We're also on Facebook and as well as Twitter. Our website is carmencarelaser.com. Our Twitter is Carmen Care Laser as well. YouTube and Facebook is Carmen Care Advanced Laser Therapy. So all of our testimonials are uploaded on all of our social media. So you're welcome to see those. I mean, the most common that we see a lot of knee pain. That one we have I think it's a 99% success rate with knee pain. We have a lot of success with back pain as well. We're very good at determining whether or not it's a local or a nerve issue with the back. So we treat locally as well as anywhere else that you're experiencing, and then up and down the spine, depending on where you're experiencing pain, whether it's referred pain or not. So, but I see people all the time, a lot of people are skeptical at first. It's very, very common. I was slightly skeptical a while ago as well, but, people who are like, oh, you're just taking our money and we don't know if we really believe in this. And then, a few weeks later, they're like, wow, I feel so much better. I'm so sorry. I wish I had come here sooner.
Oh, well, the other thing is, of course, you're not a doctor, and you're doing such a great job. You ought to be a doctor. You are really an amazing, articulate woman, and it's such a pleasure to have you on the radio. But I think that eventually we should have Carmen on our show.
Her name is Leslie.
Leslie and Carmen is
Carmen's
the last
name? Yes.
Leslie Carmen.
Yes.
We should definitely have her on because
absolutely.
You see, and even a doctor who could really explain what it is that happens inside the body with laser therapy. What is it doing to everything? And so I won't ask you. I mean, you can tell us something you may know, but I don't want to embarrass. I never embarrass anybody because I'll always say something. Say, well, I'm not a doctor. I really don't know, so I'm not going to do that. But I'd like to have a scientist on who really talks about lasers and what the ability of lasers. Because as you said, I think at the beginning, they do so many things.
They do. There are over 100 different types of healing lasers. So, we have a lot of patients that come in and they're like, oh, well, I had laser therapy at this location. And, but they, so I'm actually compiling a list of a bunch of different kinds of lasers, different other locations in the area and what type of laser they use and the difference between them. They all are healing lasers. Some work better for other people in certain conditions better than others. It's a lot is still unknown about them, except that they are healing and there are no negative side effects. They're all positive side effects. Side effects like might increase your immune system, might increase your sleep and your mood, all of these things, because it's healing the body on a cellular level. And so when that happens, the things that we are naturally supposed to be able to do come easier.
Yeah, that's very
We're
well
able
said.
to maintain health and happiness and all sorts of positive things like we are supposed to.
Right. That's beautiful. Healing body on a cellular level.
Mm-hmm.
And I think and we're dealing now, we have our Cure Symposium is coming up on October the 24th. Everybody knows they were listening, and I know they're going to come. But the point is that hopefully maybe at our next one that will be in April, we'll be able to have someone from your company come and demonstrate. We love demonstrations at our symposium, and I have to assume that you will do some of that at your upcoming luncheon and your meeting at Marriott. I mean, I guess you just can't bring it and start doing this. This should be done in a real professional way, not just the audience go through with your laser therapy. Okay, zap, 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 right?
Well, with certain things, you can see an effect immediately, except that's very
like your
rare.
Burn in your finger.
Something like that. Something small that just happened. But most of the time, it does take a while to see the effects, even though they are always happening immediately on a cellular level. But to see with our own eyes, it can take some time. But Leslie does do a wonderful job with her PowerPoints. She has pictures with dates that display how quickly the differences occurred. There's one slightly graphic picture I recall from her slides where someone had stepped on a rock and it had impaled itself in their foot, and they had a hole in the bottom of their foot, and they were seeing somebody they had a boot for 2 years to try to heal this, and it was still not, there's still a hole in their foot. And I can't remember, I think it was 2.5 years that they had done this the other ways, and then they came to use laser therapy, and I think it was roughly, it might have been 8 months, roughly a year. I have to double check the timetable on that, but the hole finally actually healed up. So it took less than half the time with laser therapy as it did with what other methods that they were using.
I know you've watched them do it. Do they actually have to take it and put it on the skin, or is it just kind of above it so that the light hits? How is that done?
There are a couple different ways, and it just kind of depends on what laser you're using and what your pain is, where it is. There's for one of our lasers, there are 2 different heads on the laser. One, you just this one has a heat component, and you use it over the skin. It's not actually touching it, or the head isn't touching it. You can feel the warmth of the laser. And then you can put another head on it it's a round ball, and it rolls as it moves across, and you rub that on your skin, so it's kind of like myofascial release. So it's kind of like a massage as you're going over it. So it's a twofer on that one.
That's great. And of course, nowadays, with everybody going to the gym and getting all this, they twisted their arm, they twisted their back, their legs. There's so many things that this could be used for. This is, I don't want to call it a miracle. It's like a miracle drug, right? No, but it is not a drug, and it is something that seems so simple, and you're not having to be put to sleep
not
to
at
have
all.
it done. I mean, you just go and you relax, and you talk to the, to the therapist and whomever is doing this. But Carmen is the clinical director.
No, Leslie is the clinical director. Lee is her daughter.
Okay, I got that now finally. So Lee is her daughter.
Yes.
And Leslie is the mother.
Yes.
And how is Lee doing?
Lee is wonderful. She actually became a CNA, and she's our head laser therapist.
Oh, she's there, so we
Yes.
can meet her.
Yes, she.
Oh, I didn't get
she's
to
at our
do
Boca
that.
Raton location. She's wonderful. She actually, we're going to be updating our website very shortly. I have her whole story I have in writing as of yesterday, and so she has a YouTube testimonial that from 4 years ago. That she's 22 now. So that's on our YouTube channel as well.
I love this story because you think about a mother who's so desperate to help her daughter, and nobody knew about what would do it, and somehow she found this. That was the other story we haven't really heard. How did she find this laser therapy even?
She had a doctor that said that he had heard of this other option, and she went all for it.
She ran.
It was in
for
North Carolina or somewhere in the Carolinas that they at the time, and they packed up and went the next day, and that was it. I mean, she is one of the most hardworking individuals I have ever met, and she and Lee both are just the most genuine, giving, loving people. I mean, I'm so blessed to work in such a community.
Well, I think they should be really fortunate to have you, because I know you haven't worked there that long, but you certainly can convince everybody.
Well, that's why she did this business, was because she saw how much it helped her daughter, and she thought it was just so amazing that she was like, I have to help other people. It's just her calling, and if she only works 6.5 days a week, it's a miracle.
Okay, well, let's give this information again, because I remember this is Pencil Talk Radio. Get your pencils out. First, we're going to talk about what's coming up, and that's on Tuesday, and that's really important. So, Tuesday, October the 13th at 11:30 in the morning, you go over to Da Vinci's of Boca. It's at the town center. It's very nice. As a matter of fact, it's wonderful. They're even having a lunch there. But the main thing is you want to go and see about this extraordinary new therapy. So if you have any pain, even if you don't have pain, you ought to go, because one day you will have pain, and you ought to know about it. And so that's Tuesday, October 13th, 11:30, Da Vinci's of Boca. Phone number to RSVP is 561-405-9577. You must RSVP on that. Then what I want to tell you about is also on Thursday, which is the 15th. They're having an educational seminar for the laser therapy so you can actually learn about this. It's a safe and proven catalyst for the healing of chronic pain and repairing damaged tissue. The number there to RSVP for that is 844-266-2617. Their website is carmencarelaser.com. Thank you very much, Becca, for being our guest.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Thank you, Anita.